from Canada, and good evening to all of you joining from India. My name is Sanjay Kulkarni, and I'm the Director of Startups and Strategy at ICCC. There are only a couple of points I'm going to make because we have a lineup of good speakers after me. So my first point is to all of you are not only guests, you are part of the event. Without your participation, this event is not possible. So we are doing this event together. My second point is for any organization or any mission, there is an important question, that is, what is the purpose of the mission or the organization? They say it is a question of why you are doing it. So I will explain to you in a couple of sentences why we are doing it. The entire board at ICCC is very passionate about this initiative. The main reason being startups, when they are successful, they create growing businesses. And growing businesses offer meaningful work to people. And we consider that as a higher purpose or a great cause. That is why we are all passionate about this initiative. And with that, I will introduce to you Ripudaman Dhillon, who is the president of ICCC. So over to you, Ripu. Ripu Saab, over to you.
Okay, I was on mute. Thank you very much, Sanjay Saab, and good morning to all those joining this program from Canada, and good evening to everyone in India. Welcome to this joint initiative between the Indo-Canada Chamber of Commerce and BRT ISF, the foundation set up by BSc Institute Limited and BIL Rights and Future Private Limited to promote startups. I am Ripudaman Singh Dhillon, the 34th president of the ICCC, which is a 44-year organization based in Toronto. Its mandate is to foster bilateral trade and investment relations between Canada and India, and to create business opportunities for Indo-Canadian small and medium-sized businesses. This is our second program under this initiative, and we at the Chamber are both proud and excited to be part of this initiative. And I wanted to take this opportunity to thank the Consul General of India, Apurva Srivastava. She is with us today and has assured us to bring the Consulate General of India on board as an official partner of the initiative. Our startup initiative is spearheaded by Sanjay Kulkarni. Sanjay, thank you very much for this initiative. We all are proud of you, who is our senior most director on the board and is also guiding the Chamber on matters of strategy. I'm also joined with my colleagues on the board, friends. Our Chamber's directors are all volunteers who are established business people or professionals. Our Chamber is a 4.5 decades old institution. We have been instrumental in both setting the bilateral trade and investment agenda and promoting the interests of Canadian small businesses owned by and operated by Indo-Canadians. Our Chamber has strong relations with our primary stakeholders, the federal, the provincial governments in Canada, and the union and state governments in India. It is because of these ties that we have been able to introduce innovative programs that are relevant to our members and the larger Indo-Canadian business community. We are the largest organization for Indo-Canadian businesses community. Friends, for the benefit of those who are joining us for the first time today, I want to give a brief background on our startup initiative. Earlier this year, we had a meeting with His Excellency Ajay Bisaria, the High Commissioner of India to Canada, where Apurva Srivastava, the Consul General of India in Toronto, was also present. At that meeting, High Commissioner Bisaria strongly recommended ICCC to launch a startup initiative to help Canadian and the business startups connect and collaborate. We immediately seized upon this suggestion and approached Ryerson University and Schulich School of Business. We also connected with the Ontario government and and coordinated with the Indian High Commission and the Consulate General of India. Our MOU with BRT-ISF is the first step in that direction. We are determined to create space for our organization in the startup space, which is already overcrowded. However, we are confident that the ICCC brings its own strengths to the startup sector because of its deep connection with the 1.4 million Indo-Canadian business community. I look forward to interacting with the Indian startups who have joined us today. Thank you very much for your time. And now let me introduce Apurva Srivastavaji, the Consul General of India in Toronto. Mrs. Apurva Srivastavaji is a career diplomat, having joined the Indian Foreign Services in 2001. Prior to being appointed at India's Consul General in Toronto, she worked with the Minister of External Affairs from January 2017 to August 2019. In her 20-year diplomatic career, she has served twice in the Indian Embassy in Paris and in the Indian Embassy in Kathmandu. In the headquarters, she has also served as Undersecretary SARC and as a Director Administration. Consul General holds a Master's in Psychology from Lucknow University. She speaks Hindi, French, and English. Please join me in welcoming Honorable Apurva Srivastavaji. Apurvaji.
Thank you, Ripuji. Namaskar to all of you this morning and evening in India. I would like to start by commending Indo-Canada Chamber of Commerce and especially Shri Sanjay Kulkarni ji for putting together this wonderful initiative. As Ripuji was saying, it was earlier this year that we had this discussion, and we are already having the second session. It's a great testimony to how Indo-Canada Chamber of Commerce is, performing now, and it's wonderful to see the things which are promised are fructifying. So thank you so much for doing it, and I hope this guidance and mentorship will help the startups in India to find the right partners and investors in Canada to scale up their offerings. As Ripu Damanji just said that we have huge Indo-Canadian community here. The Indo-Canada relationships is extremely good. We are natural partners. We are strategic partners. The bilateral trade relations is around $10 billion, which is not so much, which is up to, and I'm sure ICCC is working towards it. We are working with partners like ICCC to enhance it. But the Canadian investment in India has increased substantially in last 6 to 7 years. From $5 billion in 2015, it has gone up to approximately $60 billion, which shows how much confidence the investors in Canada have in the Indian market. And this was substantive even during the time of the COVID. So coming back to the subject, it's heartening to see that, if we talk about the startup ecosystem in India, it's heartening to see that youth of India are coming out with out-of-box solutions to the most pressing problems in the world. The startup scenario looks quite optimistic, and there is a rising confidence among investors in India and its talented people. Even in pandemic, we had seen an increased investment in startups. India's ranking on innovation index and ease of doing business have continuously improved over the last few years, and we are the fast emerging as the technology hub for the world. We have massive and wide-ranging reforms in labor, taxation, healthcare, education, civil aviation, defense, space, and that has opened up new opportunities for collaboration with our international partners. We now have more than 70 startups or unicorns that have crossed 1 billion valuation. Definitely a large youth population, the idea, innovation, and can-do spirit of our youth is definitely helping in this sector. And Indian startup sector is spread not only in the big cities, but also there are tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and across spectrum. It's from e-commerce to health tech to fintech, education, travel, logistics, you name it, and we have the startups going there. When we look at Canada, it's a country that provides one of the most conducive environment for startup. It is the most innovative and competitive economies, and its startup industry is benefiting from the rich and innovating talent pool. A large number of this talent pool comes from India and definitely strengthens startup ecosystem. This fact is well recognized and appreciated by Canadian policymakers and industry leaders. Whenever an Indian high-tech delegation visits Canada, all the provinces go out in the way to welcome the budding entrepreneurs. We saw this warmth firsthand during the recent visit of NASSCOM delegation to Canada. The next big idea is indeed a great platform for Indian tech startup for having a soft landing in Canada. The program has been very successful in ensuring entry of number of Indian startups to the Canadian market. And I'm sure this new collaborative initiative with ICCC will give further boost to their efforts to help Indian startups to enter and explore new business opportunities in India. I was going through the profile of the companies that are pitching today and was really amazed to see the wonderful offerings that they bring on table on the new and emerging technologies such as data analytics, AI, big data, machine learning, cloud computing, health. I trust that all these ideas and technologies have great scope to scale up, and the investors will find them quite exciting. So I look forward to hearing all the pitches and see their presentation. I'm sure this will create more awareness about this robust startup ecosystem and lead to more opportunities for business collaborations between our two countries. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Apurvaji, for your insights. Thank you very much once again. And now let me introduce Honorable Meena Tangriji, Ontario's Associate Minister of Small Businesses and Red Tape Reduction. Minister Tangri is a veteran member of the Provincial Parliament and has a long-standing record of serving Ontario and especially the Indo-Canadian community. She was elected in 2018 as a Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario MPP from Mississauga Streetswell. Her ministry's purpose is to modernize and streamline the government, improve rules and processes affecting people and businesses. It aims to make Ontario competitive and support economic recovery by accelerating business growth, attracting investments, and creating jobs. Please join me welcoming Minister Tangri. Ninaji.
Well, good morning, everybody. And Apurvaji, it's lovely to see you here again. And to all of you, good morning to those of you here and good evening to those of you in India. And once again, thank you, Mr. Dillon, for inviting me to be part of today's webinar. The work that the ICCC is doing to strengthen ties between Ontario and India is so important. So I'm very pleased and proud to be here with all of you today. I did have a chance to read a brief write-up about each of the startup companies participating in today's webinar. And while I'm excited to hear more from each of you, I must say that I'm already impressed by Indo, SDE's artificial intelligence and the multi-therapeutic wound care system by Inoki, and all of those presenting here today. These are just some of the incredible achievements you're making. You should all be very, very proud of the work that you're doing. Ontario and India share common priorities, and our strengths complement each other, making us natural partners. Our province is home to an incredible talent pool that has made us an attractive jurisdiction for innovative businesses to set up operations right here in North America. And our top priority as we've navigated the COVID-19 pandemic is to ensure that Ontario is open for business, open for jobs, and open for investment and trade with India. In fact, in 2019, I traveled to India on a trade mission with Minister Fedeli, where we met with many talented and influential tech companies. Over the course of 5 days, we led 12 Ontario business delegates who participated in nearly 150 business-to-business meetings, site tours, and networking events with hundreds of Indian companies. And it's incredible to see some of those companies now expanding their presence here in Ontario by establishing delivery centers to serve their clients across North America. Ontario values our relationship with India. We want to help even more companies come to Ontario to grow their operations, especially ones from India. That's why we continue to operate 2 Ontario Trade and Investment offices in New Delhi and Mumbai. Through these offices, we support businesses and trade entrepreneurs from Ontario and India in growing trade and investment ties between our jurisdictions. Ontario's Trade and Investment Office plays a key role in helping strengthen international trade and investment relationships that will be essential to our economic growth. We've also established Invest Ontario, our new investment attraction agency, which provides high-value investors with customized tools and services to support their investments here in Ontario. This agency will drive greater economic growth, support strategic domestic firms, and attract business from around the world. It provides the business development and planning expertise you need to help your company succeed. As Ontario continues to reopen for business, Invest Ontario will focus on 3 strategic sectors where the province has a global competitive advantage: advanced manufacturing, life science, and technology, all while moving at the speed of business. Investing in Ontario also means that your company will benefit directly from our high quality of life, highly skilled talent pool, competitive business costs, access to global markets, and a strong innovation ecosystem. I invite you all to visit the investontario.ca website to learn more about how we can support you and help your business thrive. And as the world continues to face unprecedented challenges and uncertainty because of COVID-19, Ontario really looks forward to continuing to build our relationship, to find new ways to support each other so that we can collaborate and work together. I'm looking forward to hearing your pictures and learning more about the incredible work you're doing. I want to thank you again for coming here and pitching your great businesses. And thank you, Mr. Dillon, and all of the team at ICCC for all the great work that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Meena-ji, for your kind insights. And now over to Sanjay Saab. Sanjay Kulkarni-ji.
Thank you, Ripu Saab. So now I will introduce to you Mr. Hemant Gupta, who is the Managing Director of Zone Startups India. So over to you, Hemant-ji.
Thank you very much, Sanjay-ji. So first of all, good morning. Good morning to all of you. And for some of you who are attending this for the first time, I'll start with a quick introduction to Zone Startups India, and then I'll introduce the program called Next Big Idea, of which the startups that you'll hear today are a part of. Zone Startups India is a part of the BSc group of companies located in Mumbai. And we are essentially a three-way partnership between BSc Limited and 2 Canadian universities, Ryerson University and Simon Fraser University. And we've had this partnership now for about 8 years. And one of the first things that we did when we set up this company was to actually start the Next Big Idea program, which is intended for Indian startups to gain an entry into the Canadian market. Right? And this year we have re-architected the program to make it more impactful. And we actually had a series of web talks, which were held in earlier in the year in April and May, where we introduced Canada as a business destination. And we had participation from 5 provinces in Canada, as well as other partners like KPMG and Ryerson University, etc. Talking about what it is to set up a business in Canada, what are the laws, regulations, etc. So that was a free-for-all program that extended over 6 weeks. We followed that up with the application process where we had about 180 startups applying to be a part of the next phase of Next Big Idea, which is what is going on right now. And the 6 you'll hear today are part of the 24 that was selected out of the 180 to be a part of the cohort that has been trained by our network of entrepreneurs, investors, incubators, business development professionals, or tax and legal professionals on doing business in Canada. And I think some of them are actually ready to make the next step, which is the phase 3, where we take these startups to their desired destinations in Canada. Also, I would like to mention that for us, these startups are a part of the Zone Startup India family. And some of them, in fact, have been with us for a lot longer than the Next Big Idea program. So as an example, one of the startups you'll hear today is the Shivani from Minochi Care. And she actually was a part of another program that we run, which Minister Fideli actually had liked a lot, called Empower, where we accelerate women-founded startups. And Shivani was a part of the cohort of 2020. And she had been selected to also go to Dubai for a global pitch competition and had won the first prize there of $100,000. And so this next big idea is next logical step in terms of expanding her business out of India and starting with Canada. So I'm very, very proud of Sagar Defense is another one that we've had a long association with. So I'm actually really proud of some of these startups that we'll be presenting today and our association with them. Bringing on ICCC to become a partner with us in the program has added tremendous value. And these sessions are ample evidence of that. So I'm really thankful to Ripu Dhilanji and Sanjay Kulkarni ji for your support and your initiative in bringing these startups to the audience here. And with that, I'll hand it back to Sanjay ji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hemanji. So now I will introduce to you Mr. Gaurav Prakash ji. Now, Gaurav ji has worked very closely with me from the beginning of this initiative. Gaurav ji is the head of strategy at Zone Startups India. I will also introduce to you at the same time Yash Kumar, who is the program manager, who is handling all the coordination of startups presenting at this event. Yash Kumar is the program director at Zone Startups India. So over to you, Gaurav ji.
Right. Thank you very much, Sanjay ji. Good morning to all our attendees from Canada and good evening to the ones who logged in from India. It's been a wonderful introductory session today from the distinguished speakers and delighted to have all of you who are participating. The platform, which is the second, along with ICCC, ICCC, which we have taken the initiative for, presents a terrific opportunity for the startups in our NBI 2021 cohort to put forth their asks, put forth their value proposition today in front of the August gathering, and take on the discussions from there. And before we get into the pitches, there are a couple of aspects I would want to highlight and seek support from everyone here. First aspect is to my cohort participants. The pitch session, it's going to be for an overall time duration of 10 minutes. 5 minutes will be the actual pitch. There is not going to be any buzzer before 5 minutes, but at the end of 5 minutes, we are going to inform you that the time is up and request you to stop so that we can have an interactive Q&A session. To all the attendees who are interested and want to ask questions, the request will be to put the questions on chat. Between Sanjay ji and myself, we'll pick it up. We have 5 minutes, exactly 5 minutes for the Q&A. So the way it would be, probably 2 questions or at best 3 questions we will take. The request to the founders is to be pertinent and probably answer the questions to the point so that you could take more if there is a possibility and availability of time. And some of these interactions we will take forward offline through our network, and Yash is along with Sanjay ji and team, we are going to be in touch with you all. So these were a couple of points. The last one is a request to all the attendees to be on mute while the pitches are going on. And to a large extent through the sessions, as I had mentioned and requested, we will use the chat more frequently for the Q&A session. Without any further ado,